Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Chris Lee here. Welcome back to another video. And today we'll be going over my way too far in advance Wrestlemania 42 match card. Now, this is recording on December 19th. We have nothing really changed. John Cena just retired, so let's get right into it. I have separated into the night 1 and night 2. I'm not exactly predicting which night the matches are going to be on, but this is just how I'd put the show on. But the matches are based on storyline. Alright, let's get right into it. At night 1, the opening match I have is a Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Now, I don't really know who's going to be the title holder by the time Mania comes around. It could be the Wyatt 6, it could be the MFT, or it could be one of the 3 tag teams on the screen. All I know is that there is going to be a tag team ladder match. I would hope. This has kind of become a tradition of a ladder match being at WrestleMania. Last year they got skimped out on, and the match they put on the SmackDown after WrestleMania was a 5-star match. So I don't think they're going to make the same mistake, and I think they are going to put on a ladder match for the tag team champion this year. But the tag teams could change around, but the tag teams I know for sure that will feature in this match are Fraxium and Motor City Machine Guns, most likely Street Profits, and probably another team besides Wyatt 6. Maybe MFT, or maybe DIY. But as of right now, this is what I have for the tag team ladder match. And if I had to pick, I'd have Fraxium winning, because I think Fraxium's the best tag team on the screen right now. Moving on to the second match. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. Now, I know what you're thinking. Neither of them can wrestle. And you know what? You'd be right. Jey Uso's boring. You'd be right. But, as you can see on the screen, I don't have Yeet Jey Uso on the screen. I have Bloodline heel Jey Uso on the screen. Because I believe Jey Uso will be turning heel in the coming weeks. He is now tag teaming with Jimmy again. He just challenged The New Day on Monday Night Raw, if I recall. And I think this whole storyline where he can't win titles or he struggles to win the big matches will happen again. I think they will get a tag team title shot against AJ and Dragon Lee. And I think they will come up short with Jey Uso being pinned. And I think that's where Jey Uso turns heel and attacks Jimmy Uso. And I think the roles will be reversed where Jimmy's the babyface this time instead of Jey. And I hopefully think Jey will retire the spear and just start using his old moveset, because the spear is so terrible. It makes his matches look so much worse. But I have a feeling this match is really likely. Like, I don't see many people predicting this because of how shit their other match was. But I think Jey works better as a heel, and I think Jimmy works better as a face. So I think this is how these two will go into WrestleMania. Moving on to the third match of night 1. A Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship match. Now, again, I'm not 100% sure on the, opponents in this match, but I am 100% confident Ilya Dragunov will come in as the United States Champion. And I'm also very, very confident that Carmelo Hayes will be in this match. The Fatal 4-Way, it happened last year for the Intercontinental Championship with Penta, Finn, Braun Breaker, and Dominic at Mania. And I think this year it's going to be the United States Champion that gets the Fatal 4-Way. But I think this is going to be like the hard-working man's title. I think Ilya will be in this match. Maybe Aleister Black. I know Carmelo will be in it. Just really good wrestlers. And Ciampa and Ilya already have a storyline together where they hate each other, and Ciampa doesn't ever get a match he wants against Ilya. And Ilya and Carmelo have the tag team thing going on right now against DIY. So I think this really could be the match, and if I had to book it, this would be all 4 people in this match, in my opinion. And I would have Ilya retaining, because I do want Ilya to hold the title for like a year. He's phenomenal in the ring. But I do think the Fatal 4-Way will happen, but the opponents I'm not very sure about. Maybe Damian Priest in this match too, because they love him and they want him on the card. But this is how I'd put it. Moving on! Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss for the Women's United States Championship. Now, they're currently a tag team, but I think we all knowing where this is leading. We all know that eventually one of them is going to turn on the other, similar to how we always knew Randy Orton and Riddle were going to break up eventually and turn on each other. So I believe Alexa Bliss will be the one to turn on Charlotte Flair after Charlotte Flair beats Chelsea Green for the United States Champion. And I believe at Mania we will be getting these two with a heel Alexa, because she's always been much, much better as a heel. And yeah, I think they will finally break up probably around Royal Rumble time is when we get like the seeds planted for them breaking up. And maybe Elimination Chamber is where Charlotte beats Chelsea Green or something like that. One of them will win the United States Champion. Or maybe there is no United States Champion involved. It's just a grudge match. But at the end of the day, I do believe these two will go up against each other at Mania. And honestly, I'd have Alexa Bliss winning. I think she has more upside, and I think Charlotte can take as many pins as humanly possible and still be a top contender no matter what. Moving on. LA Knight versus a returning Chris Jericho. I believe Chris Jericho's AEW contract is up this month in December. And I believe he will be available for the Royal Rumble, where I think he will return. And yeah, I know Night 1 really does have two matches where they're not going to be good matches. The J match is not going to be good, and this one is not going to be good. But I think the promos and character work we can get out of these two before Mania, before the actual physical match, will be really good. I think Chris Jericho is really good on the mic still, and I think he can gain heat very easily. LA Knight is obviously one of the most likable people in WWE. Everyone loves his catchphrases. It's catchphrase guy versus catchphrase guy. Chris Jericho will probably tell LA Knight he made the list. And yeah, I think if this goes on while the crowd is hot, I think the catchphrases and fun moments between these two will be able to carry this match. It won't be a very long match, probably a 10-minute match. But I do think Chris Jericho will be on this card, and I do think LA Knight will be on this card. And I can't really think of a spot where LA Knight would come into play. So I was originally going to have him against Bronson Reed, because Bronson Reed just took him out of action a couple weeks ago. But I don't think they'll be able to extend the Bronson Reed versus LA Knight storyline till Mania, which is like 3-4 months away. And I think Chris Jericho needs an opponent, and I would have originally have him go against Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens is injured. There's not many good substitutions for Chris Jericho, because you're not going to put Chris Jericho in a match and hope you have a 5-star classic. You want character work mainly out of Chris Jericho at this point. So I think this is the match, and I'd have LA Knight winning, obviously. Moving on. AJ Styles' last WrestleMania. AJ was really hard to matchmake for because I originally had AJ versus Gunther, but I think that's going to come at a later line, down the line, probably near SummerSlam or Royal Rumble or something. Not Royal Rumble. Later down the line, Survivor Series, something like that. And I think this is just a good grudge match. Obviously, you know, AJ has his history with Judgment Day, going back to the very beginning of Judgment Day, and then going back to recently with Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor and everyone. And these two have never really had a good go at it in WWE. They had one match at TLC, which was phenomenal. And I just think AJ's last WrestleMania match should be against someone he's very familiar with, a former foe, a former teammate in Finn Balor. And obviously Finn Balor is not really doing much in terms of, you know, feuds for himself. It's more Judgment Day related feuds. But I think if they give this time to simmer and have these two go against each other and have a 20-minute match, I think it would be fantastic. And I think if you give it time to have a good storyline, I think this could be match of the night. Because AJ can go, Finn can go. There's a lot of backstory you can dive into. You have the Bullet Club like backstory too. And I can see this happening. I really do think this is going to happen. Because otherwise, I don't know what Finn does at Mania. Because I don't think he's going to be in the tag team division. So I don't know what he does at Mania. He may not even get a match. And if this match doesn't happen, I believe AJ versus Gunther will happen. On to my co-main event of Night 1. I have Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan for the World Heavyweight Championship. Liv Morgan is a perennial main event star now. She needs the title, and Stephanie is the champion. Stephanie's currently feuding with Nikki Bella, and I believe once she's a heel, Liv Morgan's a heel, Stephanie Vacker's a face, so it makes sense. And I believe Liv Morgan will be winning the Royal Rumble. And it doesn't make sense for her to go up against Jade Cargill. It makes more sense to go up against Stephanie Vacker. And I do believe she will have the Royal Rumble victory. So I do think that's my pick for the Royal Rumble. But moving on, I think these two are phenomenal workers. I think they can have a really, really good match. I don't know what the storyline would be other than just her challenging her because she won the Royal Rumble. But, like, Liv Morgan's a fantastic heel. She works better as a chaser of the title than an actual actual champion. But, yeah, I think this would be a great match. And having the whole Judgment Day holding titles would be phenomenal. You could have Roxanne and Raquel women's tag, Liv World Champion, and then Dominic as Intercontinental. So yeah, I think this is the match they make at Mania. I can't really think of any other match for Stephanie Vacker. Julia's tied up as, I don't even know what she's tied up as. Oh my god, she's tied up at the United States Championship. No, she lost that to Chelsea. So I don't know what the fuck Julia's doing. But yeah, this is the match I see. Moving on. CM Punk versus Braun Breaker for the World Heavyweight Championship as the main event of night one. Now, I think this would be a really, really good match. And we are getting this on January, the first Monday Night Raw of January, in which I do believe Braun Breaker will defeat CM Punk and become the World Heavyweight Champion, resulting in CM Punk having to chase Braun Breaker for this match. And I do think it all culminates in CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble this year and picking Braun Breaker as the title contender. Braun Breaker is obviously the future of the business. He's an incredible worker. That promo he cut on CM Punk a few weeks ago was phenomenal. And this is almost a guarantee to happen. I can't really see any other program happening. Punk's been feuding with The Vision since Mania last year, and I think it all wraps up in this match with Punk defeating Braun Breaker, and yeah, this is the main event. This has to be. I can't really think where Braun Breaker goes from besides winning the World Heavyweight Championship on Monday Night Raw. This match does not make sense if CM Punk loses or if CM Punk wins on Monday Night Raw. But I doubt it. So I think CM Punk will main event his second WrestleMania and his first singles match as a main eventer. Moving on to Night 2. My opening match for Night 2 is the Kabuki Warriors versus Lash Legend and Nia Jax versus the Judgment Day versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria in a ladder match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Now, I think the Women's Tag Team Championship needs to be on this card. They've done a very good job at building this division, giving it more depth, making the titles feel more important, with Rhea and Io being involved, Charlotte and Alexa holding them for a bit. And I think these 8 women will have a great match. If I had to pick a winner, I'd probably pick Roxanne and Raquel. Obviously, the crowd would get really into this match since it's a ladder match. You have like the 3 very big dominant women in Raquel, Lash, and Nia. You have Valkyria and Kyrie and Roxanne taking all the big bumps and all the high-flying spots. And you have the veterans, Asuka and Bayley. There's a lot of dynamics in this match that would be really cool. And honestly, I think they deserve a spotlight. I think the women have worked really hard on this year to get the tag team titles to mean something. And yeah, I think this would be a good opening match. Moving on. Now, this was my original opening match, but I think it would do better as a second match, because I don't think it's going to be the heater that the first match would be. This one is going to be a quick 10-minute match, in my opinion. I think Brock Lesnar is going to fuck up Gunther, and I think Gunther is going to fuck up Brock Lesnar. This match has been brewing for like 2.5 years. People have always wanted to see this match. This match was meant to happen last year at WrestleMania, but Brock Lesnar obviously had the lawsuit issue where he was, very clearly a terrible human being, and they still brought him back. But if he's back, might as well utilize him. So, Brock Lesnar versus Gunther is my match of choice. And I'd have Brock Lesnar actually win this match. Actually, no. After him beating John Cena, I think Gunther has to win this match. But I think you can't win this match cleanly. So he has to cheat some way to beat Brock Lesnar. This is obviously going to be a heel versus heel. Don't make Brock a good guy. But I don't want Gunther to beat Brock Lesnar completely clean, because I do want this match to have a rematch at SummerSlam where Gunther destroys Brock Lesnar and retires him. So this is my match. I would hope this would be for a title to give it a little bit more importance, but if not, I guess this is the match we're going to get. And I would have Gunther coming off on top. But this is going to be a really fun match. If I was booking it, I'd have it like a similar Goldberg versus Brock Survivor Series match. Give it 3 minutes, just them kill each other for 3 minutes, and then that's it. But, yeah, moving on. A grudge match, a rubber match. Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. I think the storyline for this match is really simple. We'll be getting near Mania. Neither of them have a match. And Rhea challenges Io. As a friend versus friend match, both faces. See who's the better woman is. And I think Rhea could have the storyline where she wants to finally beat Io. She's never been able to beat Io in a singles match. And I think that's pretty easy. Have both women just showcase how good they are in the ring. There doesn't really have to be much of a storyline. Just have two women go to fucking have a phenomenal match. And yeah, I'd have Io Sky win. I don't think Rhea Ripley needs to beat Io Sky. I think it's a great story that she can't beat Io. And yeah, I would just have this as a rubber match. There's no title on the line, just two women competing to see who's better. That's it. Moving on. Now, this should have happened already. This should have happened at San Diego Survivor Series. Dominic should have never lost to John Cena. Or he should have beat John Cena at like a Monday Night Raw instead of fighting him at Survivor Series. Both of them are from San Diego, obviously because they're father and son. So I think the right decision would have been to have this at Survivor Series. But regardless, in my booking, when the storyline I believe they're going to go with, this is happening at Mania. Probably a hair versus career match where Rey Mysterio retires after losing to Dominic Mysterio in this match. And I don't know if the IC title really needs to be on the line for this match, but if Dom is the champion at the time, it will be on the line. So I think Dominic versus Rey, I think they obviously built up the storyline already. Now Rey's feuding with Logan Paul. I think that's kind of just to separate him from Dominic until maybe Royal Rumble, where they can heat up this feud more and more and eventually have the match at WrestleMania. They have pretty good chemistry together, and I think Dominic has really improved his wrestling ability. So I think this would be a really good match, and I am very excited to see if they do this match. It will be sad to see Rey Mysterio lose and retire, though. So hopefully he doesn't retire, but hopefully this match does happen. Moving on. Now, yes, I know what you're thinking. Why am I seeing IShowSpeed? Because IShowSpeed is a fucking athlete. He's incredibly athletic. He's the exact same as Logan Paul. He's just shorter. And yes, I know it's a waste to see Randy Orton team with another celebrity at a big pay-per-view. But hear me out. It's either that or Randy Orton will not be on this card. And the reason I think IShowSpeed will have a match at WrestleMania is because, one, he's crazy athletic, he's crazy physical, he's already been introduced to the WWE in that Royal Rumble spot, where it's one of the most viewed spots of 2025, and Speed recently has a show going on his YouTube channel called Speed Goes Pro, and he trained to be a wrestler, and he had a match. It wasn't like a fucking long match, it was like a couple minutes. But he trained with Randy Orton. Randy Orton was in the video the whole time, training him, teaching him how to be a wrestler. And he had a debut match on, Evolve. So I think IShowSpeed will have a match in 2026. And why not have it on the biggest stage against a tag team that have nothing better to do? Logan Paul is obviously always going to be in the celebrity matches, because you already have that built-in story where he says he's a wrestler, not a celebrity, against the celebrity. That's why they had Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul. I think, yeah, this would be a great thing. Randy Orton's there to make the team actually work and probably win this match, and Logan Paul is there to take the pin. Honestly, if this match were to happen, I would be really excited for it, because I think Speed would shock a lot of people with how good he is in ring. But yeah, I could see this match really happening. Randy, Speed, it's like Randy, Jelly Roll. And originally, again, as I said, I was going to have Bronson Reed versus LA Knight, but that didn't work out, so I had to get him on the card somehow, and I had to get Logan on the card somehow. So Speed versus Randy, or Speed and Randy versus The Vision. Moving on, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. This is basically a shoe-in match. Becky Lynch and AJ have been feuding since WrestlePalooza. AJ Lee made Becky lose her title by distracting her. And AJ Lee and Becky have yet to have that solo match. They even hinted at it, or they teased it again during the Survivor Series match, the Survivor Series War Games, where AJ Lee made Becky tap. And obviously they want a title on AJ Lee. She's the biggest superstar, or she's the biggest female wrestler in the company. She can still go at her age. She's only 38. She's not that old. She's actually probably the same age as Becky Lynch. And yeah, I think she will win this match if they do have it for a title. And I do think the Intercontinental title it has to be on the line, because this whole storyline has been built on, like, Becky is the greatest of all time. She has the title. And I think AJ said the belt would look good on her. And I think it would. I think AJ will finally get her first singles match of her return at WrestleMania. And I think it will be a pretty good match. And I think she'll beat AJ Lee. Or I think she'll beat Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Women's title. Moving on. My co-main event. Bianca Belair returning to fight her former friend in Jade Cargill. This match works finally. It finally works a lot better since Jade Cargill recently turned heel and is the women's title holder. Bianca's currently injured, and I think they were going to run this a while ago, but she's been injured this whole time, so why not run it at Mania? You could have Bianca return at the Rumble, obviously not win it, and then you can have her just confront. You don't really need a big storyline. She can win the Chamber again, back-to-back, and challenge Jade Cargill. They were friends. Jade turned her back on Bianca. There's a storyline already built. It's been like 3 years in the making, and obviously there is one big thing about them both. They're both massive, buff women. And they teased that match at like the first Royal Rumble Jade Cargill debuted at. So I think this is the co-main event. Moving on to my main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania. Yup. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the Undisputed World Championship. They've teased it. It's a trilogy. 1-1. It has to happen. Roman has nothing better to do. Roman doesn't have any other matches, any other feuds going on besides the Vision. And if Seth Rollins was still intact and was wrestling, I would have Roman versus Seth. But obviously he's injured, so the best next thing is to have Roman challenge for his title back versus Superman versus Cody Rhodes. And I think this would be a really good match. Cody's not really feuding with anyone WrestleMania main event worthy. Roman said that at Survivor Series was the last time they were going to team together. They've teamed a few times. They're both going to be faces this time, so it's going to be a different aspect. It's not going to be heel versus face. It's going to be good guy versus good guy. Or good guy versus tweener and Roman. And yeah, I think this is going to be the main event of WrestleMania. I don't know how they're going to get here, because I don't think Roman's winning Royal Rumble. He could win the Elimination Chamber, but I don't know. Since Roman went part-time, I can't really see him in the Elimination Chamber. It's like I couldn't see him in the Royal Rumble last year winning it. A lot of people had him winning it. But whatever. This is my main event. If you guys liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Comment your opinions. Bye. Toodaloo.